What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So good to have you here. So listen, I'm really excited because the other day I got the opportunity to interview someone very special. She's an actress, author, producer, acting coach, and she recently also had the opportunity to nominate the different categories, films, actors, actresses, and all the different categories for the Actors Awards. And I got the opportunity to talk to her about that opportunity, along with some other things. Really excited for you to see this interview. Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so as promised, I have a special guest with me today. I am really, truly excited to have Miss Linda Watt in the building. How you doing, Linda?
I'm doing great. I use my middle name, Linda Ann Watt,
Linda and
because, and there's a reason for that.
tell me about
I am registered with SAG-AFTRA as Linda
it.
Ann Watt. And for people to find me, it's easier to find me that way. But Linda
Got it.
is, everybody calls me Linda.
No, no worries.
Yeah.
Correct me when I'm wrong. Linda
Yeah.
Ann Watt. So really quickly, I'm gonna tell the people a little bit about who you are, and then obviously I'll give you an opportunity. But Miss Linda Ann Watt is special to me. She is my acting coach, and because of her, I got my first agent. I've booked many jobs. She is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to have her here. As she mentioned, she is a member of SAG-AFTRA, and she had the opportunity to nominate or vote on some of the nominated.
No, I
Yeah.
nominated. I
Okay.
nominated these pictures that the whole membership is going to vote on.
Awesome. For the Actors Awards that is produced and brought to you by SAG-AFTRA. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that and that experience and what it means to you. Now, I have a really quick question. Is this your first time nominating?
Yes. So it's not my first time voting because
Sure.
the membership votes every year.
Everyone votes. Right.
But yes, and they selected me this year. And so they select there's 160,000 members in SAG-AFTRA, about.
Wow.
And they choose 2,500 every year to
Mhm.
choose. And
Mhm.
of that, 1,250 choose films, and then 1,250 choose television. But before we get into that, I want to say how happy I am that you produced a film.
Oh.
Just talk about it for a second. Just
I
what
love how
was
you
the
flipped that on to me.
Yes, right? Well, hey, listen, I love that you're working.
I
It
appreciate
gives
that.
me, it warms my heart when I see students, past students, who are moving forward and doing. So just tell me a little bit about the film
Yeah.
and how and then we'll get back to the
Okay.
segments.
All right, I'll be quick. But I
Okay.
appreciate that. So yeah, I put together, wrote, and produced, starred in a film called Hurt in Private. It came from a place where there were just a lot going on in life, and people were talking to me, and everyone was used to seeing me smiling and laughing. And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm going through a lot here, and nobody knows, and I feel like I don't have the ability to tell anybody. And that's kind of where it started. And then I started to realize, I wonder how many people feel this way where, they're going through something and they can't talk about it. And so that's where the premise comes from. And um, once the typewriter, if you will, oh, I'm dating myself, typewriter, yikes. Once
That's
I
okay.
started, once I started typing, it kind of just went from there. And yeah, put my own money into it and really excited. Got with some friends of mine who are film producers, and they filmed it for me right here in Charlotte. And I'm actually writing the sequel right now as we speak. So
Oh, wow. That's great. It was a great film.
I appreciate
And another one of my students, Kai, you
it.
cast her in it,
Mhm,
and it's
mhm.
just a wonderful film. So congratulations on that.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to seeing the sequel.
Yeah,
So yeah,
well, I appreciate you, and thank you again for connecting me and Kai together. She was fantastic in the film. But enough about me. Let's talk about. But really quickly, before we get into the awards, for everyone who doesn't know who you are, just quickly, if you want to tell us a little bit about, because Linda is also an actress as well. So if you want to tell a little bit about just the three lanes that at least that I know of, in regards to Linda the actor, Linda the acting coach, and of course Linda the SAG member. Tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Ah, it's a long journey, but it all kind of interconnects. And my passion is teaching, actually. So I teach at charlotteacting.com, uptown in Charlotte. And then I teach internationally on Zoom. And I
Wow.
actually have students from Germany and South America, England. Sometimes they get tired because they have to wake up at 2 a.m.
I was
for,
gonna say,
for a
yeah,
class.
amazing.
But yeah, so that's academyofacting.org. And so I teach all during the week. And I recently got back into acting. So
Nice.
I'm really loving that. I'm really having joy with doing it. So I started out at 14. I won a scholarship, so I went to school in New York, and I studied with, because I was 14 and the teachers, some of them were 75. So they
Oh,
actually, yeah, they actually studied with Stanislavski and Strasberg.
mm,
And so I got such a training. Then I attended Stella Adler Conservatory. Then I went to LA because they kept sending my tape out to LA.
that's where
And I,
everything
and I studied with Milton Casellas, and he was fabulous. He directed Butterflies Are Free on Broadway and the movie. And that's where I learned how to break down a script
was.
and really hone my skills.
Mm.
Then I was producing the Academy Awards party because I started producing things. One of the largest ones out there. It was right after Swifty Lazar stopped his party.
Mm.
And this woman came up to me and she said, "You look like you're an actor." And I said, "Well, yes." And she said, "Well, who did you study with?" So I said, "Well, and I gave the whole, what I just told you." And she
Right.
said, "Well, if you haven't studied with me, you haven't studied acting." And I was like, "Well, okay, who are you?" And so she was Lori Hull, and she was
Mm.
Lee Strasberg's acting teacher for 12, the master teacher that he would have to conduct all of his classes in the beginning for 12
Oh, that's
years.
incredible.
Yeah, so I studied extensively with her. I produced a documentary with her on method acting with Stanislavski and Strasberg, with Cloris Leachman and Shelley Winters and Martin Landau. So my acting has been, I did a lot of national commercials, soaps, TV series, some film. Then I got more into producing a lot for national PBS.
Hmm.
I directed Betty White, Aaron
Wow.
Neville, um, I'm trying to think, Nell Carter in
Wow.
segments for national PBS
Sure.
television.
Yeah,
And then I was teaching because I it has to be taught the proper way.
that's right.
And, right? And
Hmm.
so I saw it wasn't being, so what happened was I was doing a production for PBS, and our PBS station went through Katrina. So then I teamed up with WTVI out of Charlotte,
The Charlotte. Okay.
and they were going to give in kind for finishing funds. And it was during the banking, and they went down. And
Right.
so I was here with everything, my sets, my everything.
Right.
And so there was nothing to do. So at that point, I started teaching through Blumenthal Performing Arts, the education department.
Wow.
And so and I found my love. I was teaching also because I was mentoring with the city of Los Angeles when I
Okay.
was doing a children's series. We were actually using homeless people or challenged that they had no opportunity.
Okay.
And they would come on to our set and we would train them and give them a salary and get them launched so that they could have a career in production. So I
Wow.
was doing that back in the 90s
Hmm.
and early 2000s. So I've had a passion for teaching and mentoring for forever.
Sounds
And
like that.
so, yeah. So, but now I'm back into acting again and I'm loving it. And I just did a micro budget SAG-AFTRA film Travesty,
Okay.
which is about a man who is down and out on his luck.
Hmm.
He's at the wrong place at the wrong time,
Mm.
and he gets arrested. And I am the attorney who is washed up, alcoholic, and I rally to help him.
Wow.
So, so what I would say to everybody out there is if you have an idea for a film, you can even do a SAG-AFTRA micro budget film. And then you get it as a signatory film with SAG-AFTRA. So when you cast, you can get all of the actors in that.
Wow. So you can actually get people who are SAG after actors because I didn't realize
Yes.
that, but you had to be a part of, SAG.
Well, you do.
Okay.
You have to be a SAG-AFTRA signatory producer.
Right.
But because the field has changed so much,
Hmm.
they have different levels
Okay.
to be a signatory producer. So you can defer salary, so you don't have to have the huge budget of Warner
Right.
Brothers. And so it's available to every producer out there. I'm trying to get the word out. So
Yeah.
Marcus, you are the first person that I am getting the word out to. For
Breaking news right here.
breaking news, because I
Yeah.
have I have been voted in as the
Oh,
Atlanta
okay.
local for SAG-AFTRA.
Okay.
So I am on the board of the local. I am also a national convention delegate for
Mhm.
SAG-AFTRA, along with nominating the films for this year.
So,
So I feel it's very important to be a member of SAG-AFTRA if you're an
yes.
actor. I think it's also very important to be a signatory producer. And my reasoning for that is actors love to work. They love
Yes.
to act.
Yes, we do.
And if we're not protected,
Mm.
it's a fast race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And we need a union. We need someone to represent us
Hmm.
and to look out for our best interests.
And what I love what you're doing here is a lot of people, I know there's the internet, right? And you can Google anything, but I still love what you're doing in regards to sharing access to information because that's also important. And sometimes we even searching online, you don't even know where to start, right? And then you can get inundated with so much information. It's hard to filter out
And
what really
you
need to
don't
know.
know what you don't know,
There it is.
you
Right.
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love what you're doing. I love what you're sharing. I think it's fantastic. And you actually answered my next question which was kind of how did you know when you wanted to coach help actors? We kind of answered that. So I'll flip it to about the actors themselves. And then we're gonna move on to the awards. What is the most common misconception that actors have when it comes to it could be your students, people you know, and conversation that you've had. But when actors come and they start voicing what good acting is, what is the misconception that you have seen the most common in regards to judging what good acting is?
Okay. So the first thing that students, because in elementary school, they were in a play and their teacher had them, be off book, memorize your lines as soon as possible. And so they're very robotic, but they know their lines.
They know their
And they
lines.
come to my class the same way because of that training. And what happens then is they hear it a certain way in their mind as they're working on it. And it will never be that way when they're really doing it. So the words, to me, the biggest thing about acting is the words don't matter.
Mhm.
It's the emotional intention. And it's not to pre-plan. As soon as you pre-plan something, like you rehearse it to death, it's fake. So
Yeah.
it's your impulses, it's your choices, all of these little things that you get an impulse and you do it. You might not get the same impulse in the next take, but you are free to explore, and a good director allows that. Yeah.
I love that. And that it's funny that you said that because had you been around filming Hurt in Private, you would have heard a lot of the things that you taught me on set. People wondering about how to look. And I've actually used the word, it's really about the emotional intent of the scene itself. And if you nail that, if you miss a couple of words here and there, no one will know but you because you know the script. But if the emotion's there and the real intent behind it is there, they'll get it.
It's very important to me. It's my joy, it's my passion, and it's not work.
Right.
It's a love to be there. But when you are doing, so I was once telling students at UNC Charlotte, actually, I was a guest giving a class, and this director, he was a professor, but he was also a director of Shakespeare. And I told the students, the words don't matter. Let's just, the words don't matter. And he was in the back. He went, what do you mean the words don't matter?
What?
It's Shakespeare. It's what the words matter. And I
Right.
was like, ultimately, yes, for Shakespeare, the words matter. But still, when
Right.
you're working in a rehearsal state,
Right.
you can work on other things, the environment,
Right.
what you're feeling. You can use improvisation to just talk it out the way you would as a contemporary piece, as
Right.
opposed to, the time of Shakespeare. So then he understood what I was saying, and we were both on the same page. But
Right.
my approach is to make it real,
Right.
not to be an actor acting, but to
Right.
be being.
I
And
love
there are
that.
actually studies, neurological studies, that have shown that different parts of the brain actually shut off when
Mm,
someone is portraying a character or even saying and having an accent.
mm.
Yeah,
So,
it's incredible.
yeah, no, and that's why I even now I still do the sense memory exercise before we ever shoot a scene. That stays with me because that's what makes it real. Because now you are actually emoting a real emotion from a situation that mirrors what the scene calls for. So it's not acting, you're in it. And
It's a good launching point.
Mhm,
Um, Uta Hagen said, you don't want to act your past
mhm.
instead of the scene,
Yep,
but it will get you there so quick so
right.
that you are ready to do the scene. Absolutely. And you also have to be, and I don't know if I ever stressed that to you enough, Marcus. Um, you have to be okay to remember it. The actor's psyche is very, very fragile.
Yeah.
And Michael Chekhov, who was doing sense memory with Stanislavski, actually had a breakdown emotionally because of going back to negative
Right.
things in his past and pulling them up for sense memory. So I say to students, be careful and
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself.
Hmm.
And if you feel that you're not ready to remember it, but it would be great in the scene, but you're not ready, and it would leave you with depression or upset or something, not, then don't use it. Then use the magic what if? What if
Yeah.
I were in this situation?
Yeah. No,
But it is
no.
a great tool.
I want to get into the awards, the Actors Awards. The category you were nominating films, correct?
Film, yes.
Okay. So you broke down the process of how you were chosen to do the nominating process. And one thing I like about the SAG Awards or the Actors Awards, excuse me, is because it's that, right? It's your peers. It's, people who do the job you do, whether it be the actors, producers, writers. And I obviously the Academy Award is within itself a great award, but I've always loved watching, and I follow the SAG Awards or the Actors
Okay, so
Awards.
this,
Let
yeah.
me
So,
fix
yeah,
that.
no, well, what happened was, so for years they were called the SAG Awards,
Right.
and SAG and AFTRA merged.
Hmm.
And so this year they have changed the name to the Actor Awards presented by SAG-AFTRA. And from now on, it's the awards are the Actor Awards. I
Actors
know, now you have me doing it. No, the Actor
Awards.
Awards. Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through, and I've never, this is so great because I've never had some behind the scenes at this. Like, what actually what nominating actually involves. Like, what are you responsible for? What type of guidance do you get from SAG-AFTRA? Walk us through that a little bit.
Right. Well, what they say is it might be impossible to watch everything. So
Okay.
try and watch as much as you can.
Mhm.
And then with that large group,
Mhm.
we'll come up with the nominees for the awards. So they send us screeners, and we can also upload or download screeners.
Okay.
And so I watched 17 films in a short period of time so that I could make some, choices for 5 nominees in each division.
So 17 films,
Yeah,
and out of that 17, you needed to pick five.
right.
So you obviously in the industry love the process, filming and things like that. So when you're going through these 17 films that you're watching as a nominator, how do
Mhm.
you turn off the what the how, or not even, I guess you can't turn it off, but how do you balance enjoying the film versus evaluating what you're watching?
Mm. I think the first thing when I watch a film, I watch it
Mhm.
to enjoy it, to
Okay.
get something from it.
Okay.
And then after, I sit with it and
Mhm.
say, okay, what did I feel was outstanding?
Mm.
Or all of the films were good.
Okay.
Every film I watched had merit.
Mhm.
Every film I watched, the actors were committed and were doing a good job.
Mhm.
But there's something after, and you just feel magic. You
Mm.
feel this one's great, this one's great, this one's great, but this one,
Right.
this performance was beyond.
Right.
And I'm even getting chills now thinking about
Thinking
it.
about some of them.
Yeah.
So on that note, was there anything, any surprises?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm
no,
going
go
to,
ahead.
I'm going to, okay. So, Hamnet,
Hmm.
Jesse Buckley.
Hmm.
Did you see that film?
I have not.
You have to see it.
Okay.
There is at the end, and it's not just her, it's also the director. Um, you are left, it haunts you. You
Mm.
are left with it.
Mm.
Um,
I
so
love that.
yeah,
I love that.
that was a performance. Yeah, you have to see it. The whole film is outstanding. The direction is
It's got a
outstanding. The
lot of buzz for
performances.
sure.
Yeah, you're going, and I didn't even, for those of people who have seen it, they know what it's about. I
Mhm.
didn't. I went into it completely, all right, I'm putting this one on.
Yep.
And then I was like halfway through, I was like, oh, now I know. And when you watch it, you'll realize that too. Another performance that was phenomenal was Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon.
Oh
He was
yeah. Okay.
playing Hart.
Okay.
Um, so you start to watch this film,
Mhm.
and it was slow moving, and
Okay.
it was, but then you start thinking to yourself, I don't see Ethan Hawke
Yeah, that's
ever.
wonderful.
I just see the man he's playing.
Yeah.
His performance was phenomenal because it was basically a monologue for an hour and a half,
Oh.
and he never broke. It was Hart. It was not him. So
So on
those
that
two.
okay, so on that same token, has there ever been, not ever been, in this process, was there any movies that, yeah, 20 minutes in, you were like, this is not it for me. But obviously you committed and watched the whole thing. But were there any that you thought were going to be great and you were just like, yikes, this isn't that good?
Okay,
You don't
so
have to tell on yourself.
no, I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell. So in I think if I had legs, that
That would pick
movie,
you.
yeah, Rose Byrne was phenomenal, and I nominated her. She played a mother who was overwhelmed and a nervous wreck and just on the edge. And 20 minutes into it, I was like, I'm hating this film because it was just very stressful. Um, but on the other hand, I nominated her because she gave an outstanding performance. Also, I have to mention that Timothy Chalamet was really good in Marty Supreme.
I want to see that. I can't wait to watch that.
It
I have
was
not watched
he
that
was
yet.
really he nailed that character 100% and kept that energy going.
Yeah.
He won last year for the actor awards. Um,
For which film?
when he played in Bob Dylan's film.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was portraying Bob Dylan.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
he
didn't
won
know he
last
was up for
year.
that. Okay.
So I don't know if they would consider giving it to this. Well, they might consider it, but also Ethan Hawke's performance was
Do you
phenomenal.
feel like people do that? People think of that? Like we just gave him a reward, an award last year. Do you feel like sometimes that comes into play?
I don't think it's done consciously, but
I,
we are a nominating committee. But I did put him down as one of the five, and he is down as one of the five.
yes.
So now the membership votes. You know, if everybody thought that his performance was outstanding the most, yeah, he could win again.
When evaluating a film and projects, what are performances specifically? What are like three? What are your three things that you look for in a performance when judging, specifically at this level?
There are no three things.
Okay,
I
so it's
told you, it's when I get the goosebumps
the
and the film stays with me long after it's over.
But what separates the great performances though from an award worthy film? Because you have some actors and some films that are good, but then there's you should get a trophy.
Yeah, it's when that happens to you. And then there's a magic thing because there's also in the actor awards, there's best ensemble performance.
Yep.
And so my picks was The Sinners
Okay.
and Marty Supreme
Mhm.
and let's see,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
those were my picks for that. Sometimes, to answer your question, somehow the puzzle just comes together perfectly and it all works.
Yeah.
And for both of those films, everyone was outstanding in both films.
So this doesn't probably impact you because you obviously have multiple things that you nominate, but maybe if there's one that you're on edge, right? So you got one more to pick and you have two films left. Both performances are strong. You got the feel goods from both, the goosebumps. What would be the tiebreaker for you?
I did have tiebreakers because there
Oh,
were so
nice.
many films. There were so many films that I thought that was outstanding. You just have to mull it in your mind.
Hmm.
Like there were a lot of male performances, and then you say, but what stood out? Who took a choice that was quirky or something that wouldn't normally be done? And Jesse Plemons,
Mm,
Jesse Plemons in Begonia
yeah.
gave such a performance of quirky choices
Hmm.
and just a demeanor. And so, yeah, and there were other, and you just sit with it and you say, okay, they're all good, but then you go back
Hmm.
and and not all of my nominated picks became nominated. But I respect all of them that are there. And I'm looking forward to who's going to vote for what, you know?
Yeah.
And
So
then also for the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Director. Um, they're even, I don't know if you heard about this, Marcus, but they've included casting directors. First time for Academy.
wow. For the Academy? No, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's impressive. That's real. I love that because you just mentioned the ensemble, and when casting directors, when they put together certain groups and the magic that they put on screen, it is award worthy. So I'm glad they're doing that. So you mentioned Hamnet, and I know Natalie Portman recently called out some of the major award shows, SAG and the Academy, for
Mhm.
the snubs on female directors. Do you feel that that happens often? And then I have a follow-up question to that. Do you agree with Natalie Portman in regards to her call outs to the Academy and SAG for?
Okay, so
Mhm.
there are only five positions, five nominees.
Mhm.
If two tie, then there can be six.
Okay.
But there were so many really good films and really good performances.
Mhm.
So there are so many directors. There's only five spaces.
Yeah.
So do I think this year? I think a female director, Hamnet's director, is going to win. And
Mhm.
she is a female,
Mhm.
Chloe.
Yep. Chloe.
What's her last name?
Chloe Zhao, I think.
Zhao. She
Zhao.
pronounces it Zhao. She's. I feel she's going to win.
Mhm.
So there was a rental family that I saw that I thought was directed really wonderfully, and that was Hikari, I
Mhm.
think, a female director. I have a list here of Sorry Baby,
Yep.
Left-Handed Girl, Hedda, The Testament of Anne Lee,
Mhm.
Rental Family, and Freakier Friday. They were all directed by women,
Mhm.
but there's only five spaces. Sometimes a film doesn't get chosen because it didn't have enough money for promotional.
Okay.
Sometimes it just isn't chosen because there are so many to choose
Right.
from.
And you can only have five. It is what it is.
Right. But I do feel that a female director is going to win this year. So to say if women are snubbed, if the female director is winning this year because her work is outstanding, you know, I'll eat my hat if she doesn't win. But I do think she is going to win. Now, you can even hone that down a little bit more though and say,
Okay.
well, did she have to be more outstanding than most because she is a woman?
Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor. If you like the content, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And hit that little alarm button as well so you can get alerted whenever I post new content. And also, do me a favor, share with other people who you think would like this content as well. We have a big goal of 1,000 subscribers we're trying to get to, and we need your help. Appreciate it. Till the next one. Peace.
Yeah.